This is the Weigh In podcast by Benoit Chestnut and the occasional pop-in Sebastian Romero. On this week's Weigh In, we're going to talk to you about the pop-up of 6 new Division III wrestling programs as our seg today. And nonetheless, we will talk about my alma mater, Wilkes University, and their wrestling team as well. But we talk about the 6 new wrestling programs that will be in their first kind of season this year. So that's the interesting thing. And with the conclusion, with the additional of Wilkes starting that women's wrestling program. But the 6 programs are 6 brand new programs of wrestling altogether. But nonetheless, that is this week's Wayne Takedown Thursday. So we jump right in this one. Nonetheless, to say, we're going to run across this list like pretty quick on these 6 teams. So we have Arcadia of Pennsylvania. We have McMurray of Texas. We have Bethany of West Virginia. We have Kean University. Kean University. That's going to be a key program to talk about because they are not a new program. They were in the wrestling scene long time ago, but they are back. They are back. We're going more or less. We're going to talk more about that Kean University team. Emmanuel of Massachusetts and Albright of Pennsylvania. So we got quite a few states rolling around here. But nonetheless, we're going to talk about that. The center focus here today is going to be that Kean University wrestling team, Kean University wrestling program, because Kean University wrestling, there's some history behind Kean University, and we want to get you caught up. So Kean University, to let you know, is not that far-fetched from RP. If many of you know, it's not that far from RP. So we're going to go ahead and get you the history behind Kean University, because that is, we always like to do the Jersey schools first, Jersey stuff, but we will get you all of that because there's some history behind Kean University wrestling, and we're going to get all that for you. So let's talk where it is. So first of all, they got some All-Americans. So we're looking like unofficial history before the official programs are established. Students who are interested could practice unofficially. So they had a team, but unofficially, they had a team a while ago. But in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, we can see they got a few. They got a few All-Americans. It looks like they're All-Americans, but they may not have been linked to. Yeah, so let's see. We got the Kean news right here for you. We're gonna bring up the best we can get for you on this pod today. So it says here. So they're doing a men's and women's program. Great to see a women's program. And I'm not just saying that just because, I love to see All-Americans from New Jersey. Let's see. There was some stuff here about it. Let's see. Let's see if we can get you something. It says Kean discontinued previous men's wrestling program nearly 30 years ago. So that's interesting. Men's wrestling. Yeah. Man, Roger Williams. Man, this is old. We had Egan on here. Kean University versus Roger Williams, January 27th, 1996. Roger Williams won that 28-21. Wow. Wow. Kean University, 1996, they wrestled Roger Williams. That tells you the history behind Roger Williams. That tells you that history behind Roger. That Kean University wrestled him 1996. So we're starting to get into some of this stuff. We're starting to get rid of some of that stuff. Let's see what we can find. So they had some All-Americans. Let's see if we can find. Let's see if we can find some similarities here on these All-Americans for you. So we have quite some things here. They what looks like a very years ago. They had a neutral match and they had a home match right in Bristol, both of which Kean lost. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. You hate to see this. But that was in 1996. That tells you that Roger Williams has some deep wrestling. So 1996. 1996. We're bringing back some history here for this Williams crew. 1996, they wrestled Kean. You would love to see a press report about that, but I don't think we're going to get one. But whoo, it's a nice dual meet. It's a nice dual meet to see that Kean has got wrestling back. And you know what I like is the addition of making sure you put a woman's program. You know that you're bringing it back. You had a men's, and now you're bringing it back correctly. You're bringing it back right. You're bringing it back correctly, and that's something that you love to see. It's an old one for you. It's 1996, man. It's a real old one. So we're learning something here. You know, we're doing this kind of together on the pod. And we're learning some stuff about this Kean program. Learning real good stuff about this Kean program. So it's looking like the first program that was there was more informal, not a formal program. Um, it's looking like it was informal, but I don't really know the truth to that. We're not going to speak to that because I thought it was a formal program. I thought it was a formal program. I thought it was. So that's interesting. That's a interesting denotion. Some good stuff though. Some good stuff as we try to figure out what is some good stuff. Some good stuff with this. But nonetheless, it's great to see Kean with a program. Really great to see 6 programs popping up. I think now we'll take the time to kind of indulge in this Wilkes University. Wilkes University coming up with a women's program, I think, is a really great thing. All in all, to be able to have that, you have a men's program. I think the deep rooted history with John Reese is one of those things that you say it's nice to see finally you branch out. And I think I like to see I like to see that the sport is growing. I like to see that the sport is getting bigger and it's doing better. I like to see that. So it's a really good um thing. And I think that's really good. That's a really good thing. In terms of it, I like the idea of what's going on with Kean University and that they're doing really good. So past national champs. Let's see. No, nope, nothing like that. We're not really finding nothing, but I think it's great to see Wilkes University get a women's program going. I think, like I said, when Iowa came up with a program, well, I don't think I did, but I will say now, I thought it was a great thing that Iowa came out to the punch with a women's program, and I think it's really great that we now have it as an NCAA sport. So I think that in terms of that, you're going to see a lot of these schools that have never had programs other than Kean that kind of had one, which is looking like it was informal, but it might have been formal. We can't speak to that. That's our good old. We don't. That's my good old Google it. Um, and I think to the notion of you're going to see a lot of these schools pop up with men's and women's program because it's a really great thing. It's a really great thing. And I think that would be, you know, I think that's really great to see that they're adding the addition. In they say the last year this Kean, the last year if we're getting back to this Kean program was 19. We talked was that 1996? Looks like was the since a long time ago, and it was the wrestling program. It was a men's program. So that's that. But I think it's a really good thing that Wilkes University brought a women's, and this is going to be their first compete year. This is going to be really their first compete year for Wilkes University. So they got to, I, I would like to say, I would love to say they have a good squad. They got a good squad going up there, and I think that's really good. And I think in terms of that, there's going to be some good things to come out of that for Wilkes University. And I think anytime you start a women's program, I think it's that market that is the I say it's the hardest market to get in, only because it's so competitive. Like it's like look at soon as Iowa hit the break, hit the season, you know, join the game, join the match, as we like to say. They were unstoppable. And you look at that, and obviously that's the case it may be now. They're getting the top recruits, but you wait till, Oklahoma gets a team and Kale Sanderson and Nebraska. Wait till all them like Rutgers gets a team. Is Iowa gonna still be on top? I'm gonna say just flat out, no, they're not. When all those other big schools get it, it's gonna change the game. And I don't know why they're waiting, but let's get those programs up and at them. Up and at them is what I would say. Let's get them programs ready to go. Let's get them. because I think that this is great to see all these new programs popping up for men's and for women, to see that, they're building, you know, which is really good. And it's really great to see, Kean bringing it back. It's really great. It's really, really good thing. So really good thing that is going on in terms of everything. I think it's a really good thing to see that we're getting wrestling programs popping up, to see, six additional in the terms of it, you know, and then getting a restarted Kean University men's program and a brand new first of its kind women's program, which I think is amazing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's an amazing thing that's going on. I think it's a really great thing, and I just think it's great to see the additional, because the sport's growing. As we know, over the years we lost certain teams. And I think that's a really good. So that's a really good thing that was able to be done. So they're able to reinstate and bring it back. So it's really good. We look at a lot of good stuff that lot of good stuff. So a lot of good stuff that was able to get done. And I think that's really great that you're bringing back something that hasn't been around for over nearly 30 years. So you're bringing back that team and stuff like that, and to see the new additional ones pop up like crazy. It's just really good. I think in terms of all of that, it's been like, I think that all of that is just really good, and I think there's no wrong or right way to look at this. That now that it is a sport, you're going to see a lot of schools that may only have men's programs add a women's program, because it's something that they can do, and I think that's really great. Another thing, man, I don't know if this is like a good trend setting, but we're getting a lot of octagon mats in college wrestling. The other day, I'm looking over Twitter, and well, X, they call it X now. I see a lot of, like, when I'm scrolling, I see a lot of octagon mats. Is that a trend now? The octagon mats? I don't know if that's just a thing going on now, or if it's just something they're doing, but it's one of those things. Like, hey, order an octagon mats. Um, it's kind of, I think that's one of those things where, like, okay, you start a women's program. That's another way to get a. I think if you already have a men's program, then you're starting a women's. It's a benefit for the men's program, and many are not going to agree with you. They're going to say, "Well, how is it a benefit?" It's a benefit because of the mat. You buy a brand new mat for women's. Um, you can double line it, so it's lined for women's and it's lined for men's. So it's kind of like men's can still use the new women's mat, although will they? Because we're seeing a lot of, and I say that because seeing a lot of octagon mats, and the octagon mats are double lined, where they're lined for women's and they're lined for men's. And I'm like, that's crazy. A lot of octagon mats, a lot of octagon mats. And I'm like, that's pretty crazy to see all those octagon mats going around. I'm like, that's interesting. That I see a lot of that. It looks like a lot of ordering of octagon mats is going on. That they're doing a lot of that, and I think I was like, that's a crazy one to see that a lot of these octagon mats are being ordered. But yeah, that's the thing that I'm like, wow, a lot of octagon mats being ordered. I'm like, that's an interesting one. Even for me, it's very interesting that they're getting a lot of octagon mats. So I think the little bit we were able to find about Kean University, I do duly noted apologize for not finding as much history as we would have thought. But man, I would like to say that I think it's deep rooted wrestling. I think it's glad that it's back. We had in that Union County area of New Jersey, you had UCC that brought wrestling. You had Union County is the hub. I would like to say the hub for wrestling. I don't care what the state championships look like right now. But you look at all the history of Union County wrestling, and back then, man, it used to be New Providence. It used to be those cluster of Union County schools that just used to I feel like ran wrestling. You know, if you look at the combined the combined state place winners from all the schools of Union County with the rest of the county, I wonder where that's at. Now, you know what? I'm sure somebody's going to ask that as a question, but even before they do that, we will break that down. So we will possibly try to get you an answer on that, which is probably going to be interesting. So let's see if we can get you as an answer on that. If we can find close to one, if we can double up one right now, see if I can get a Googleized answer here or find some of those stats to generate one. See if we can get you something here. So I definitely think that's an interesting one. For right now, I'm not able to find something, but if I find something by the end of the let's see. But if not, we got more than enough. We're able to get you something by next week, by that next epi. See, we can get you something. So, we'll try to figure out some stuff for you. That's the great part. But nonetheless, really good things in terms of that. Really great things that, I talk about that there is some good wrestling out of out of that Union County area. And I don't many could say that they could say that that's some good wrestling. You know, that it's just real great. I think Union County's got some great wrestling. I'm sure that people will say, well, oh, Bergen Catholic and Bergen County's got deep rooted wrestling, but you look at how many guys win a title from Bergen Catholic, how many guys win a title from for instance from D. Paul. We won't talk about Della Barton because Della Barton gets a lot of state champs, a lot of state place winners. Della Barton, I think, is untouchable when it comes to that. But we won't go there because we know that it's a different breed over there. That's wrestling on a whole new level. But what I'm saying is that when you line up all these schools from Union County and you say, you know, let's but we're near the end of the epi, so I'm gonna tell you is that I don't think I'm gonna get all the analytics done before this is over, but um and that's the best way to get at it on this epi that I'm instinctively proud, but we will get you that that we'll get you that for next episode so that we have all of that done. We'll get you that. We'll get you that. We'll try to do the best we can to get you what you need on under that, and we'll try to get a good old. We'll try to get you that. So as we try to do that for the next epi, I thank you for being here and watching this epi. This is yet another episode of The Weigh-In. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And this is The Weigh-In by Benoit Chestnut and the occasional pop-in Sebastian Romero. And we will see you on our Tuesday drop. Weigh-In out.
The Weigh-In, where stories ignite.